Okay, we got a project we're working on this evening. We're going to make a PVC, basically a Hillbilly kyvex sheath for a nice bushcraft knife we got here. Got a piece of the Schedule 20 PVC, and what we've done is we've set a magic marker on a book to give us a nice even line for our cut. And then what we do, because we're going to put a belt loop on that, then what we do is we determine how deep we have to cut it by using the length of the knife itself, making sure you leave yourself at a little bit of an allowance at the bottom down here, coming to the handle here. That lets us know the depth of our cut here, and then we'll cut along the lines we just made on that book here and here. And generally a good rule of thumb is cut one at a time instead of trying to cut down through the center, because you want to stay as close to that line as you can. And if it's not going to be straight in the center, then you can get a nice even cut with that. And then what we'll do is we will heat this up till it gets pliable and kind of the floppy, just like you do if you're going to make a PVC bow. This part here, this part has a little bit of a niche out of it, so this is the part we're going to remove. And then when this gets floppy, we take this part, fold it back on itself, which will make a belt loop. And then when this is hot, put the knife inside it, and then you'll press it hard to make it take to the shape of the knife. We'll come back in a few minutes and show you the progression of that when we get to it. Just bear with us. Okay, here it is where we've got this cut down to the lines and removed that piece. So what's going to happen is when we get this hot, well, we probably do it right over the top of a burner on the stove. And some people get real paranoid about heating up plastic and stuff like that. As long as you keep it below 180 degrees, you don't release carcinogens. Plastic can be softened and melted. As long as it's not smoking, you're not releasing any bad chemicals and fumes into the air. So yes, we are aware of those situations, and just make sure we avoid that. But what we're going to do is we're going to get this hot so it gets nice and soft and pliable, and then the knife will be slid down into here, and then we press it flat. What I like to do is between two hard surfaces, set a piece of cardboard, piece of felt, or whatever, something that's going to have a little bit of give to it. That way when you press down, like with a 2x4 on top of it with a piece of felt in the center, you actually have a little bit of give so it can form around the shape that's underneath it, instead of just having a solid hard place, which will actually help hold the knife into the sheath a little bit better. But as soon as we get this heated up and ready to press, we'll come back with that. Okay, we've been putting it over the burner on the stove. Now you see you got to work kind of quick on this. We're going to put the knife in, press it down. You want to put it between the cardboard, plastic between the cardboard, usually.
I forgot to do that and ran out of time.
Yeah. This might work anyway. But you put the knife in, and then you press it down and wait just a few minutes to let it cool, and what it'll do will conform to the shape of the blade that it's inside. Okay, this is what we've got so far. Now, another thing I want to mention is when you do this, you want to try to press the knife against one side or the other. As you can see, we've got a little arrow right here. This was a visual clue to put the cutting edge of the knife facing this side, because he wanted it to fit on his belt this way. But so we press the spine of the knife up against this part of the PVC, and now you can see how it's there. And then you can trim this. You can leave it square, or you can trim it around the shape, or whatever you want to with that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reheat this part up here coming about an inch down into the sheath part and heating from here up to the handle, so we can bend this over and it'll lay flat against the back side of this for a belt loop. When this gets reheated, it will start to come back out to a round shape, but it'll be real easy to press. If you want to, just to make sure you have an easy slide for your belt, when you fold it over, set your belt down, fold it over your belt, and then press it, and it'll take the shape of the belt too. Let's get that reheated back up, and we'll bring it back in just a second. Okay, we heated it up. As you can see, we're putting the belt in place. So that it'll match to the belt itself. Then you just press it down around it. Give it a few seconds to let it cool, and it should hold its shape itself. Okay, this is what we've got so far. We've got the sheath made. Got a nice belt loop here. As you can see, the sheath will hold the knife itself, just like a kyvex sheath does. And he has some deer hide here that we're going to cover the sheath with, and it'll give it a nice, I don't know if you're going to put it on, stitch it, and fringe it, or if you're going to make it a tight wrap. But all of the PVC itself will be covered with the deer hide. There you go, just like that.